Alright, what's up guys? So this video I'm going to show you a very simple strategy that you can use simply trading supply and demand and volume, okay? It's very simple, it works really well, and I use it in my trading all the time. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, for the example I'm going to show you, we're going to look at AMD, okay? So what you want to do is start with a higher time frame supply or demand zone, okay? So this could be a daily chart, 4 hour, 1 hour, whatever it is, okay? Something of that nature or even higher. Once you have that, so if we look at AMD, okay? I know we're hopping right into it. We look at AMD, we pull out this daily candle here. You can see we have a really nice demand zone, okay? Price has this shoot up, it's consolidative, aspect, and we have this huge gap higher as well, okay? So we have a really nice demand zone, okay? So then when you identify your supply or demand zone on the daily, weekly, or hourly or time zone, that's when you want to jump to a smaller time frame. Okay, so we're going to look at a 5 minute or 15 or 30, something of that nature. You can even go down to a 1 minute if you want to look at a 1 minute, all right? But for this example, we're going to use a 5 minute. So we go to AMD. Now, obviously, trading supply and demand, you could, of course, just buy right when price gets into it, stop at the lows, target a decent risk reward, something like this, okay? Here, obviously, it would have worked. You would have made money. Let's say you want to have a better win rate, okay? Better risk reward, better entry. What you can do is zoom in on the 5 minute. This is where volume comes into play, okay? Don't need any other indicators, don't need anything else, just volume. You can see when price finally hits demand here, okay, volume is still pretty much constant. All right, you can see how volume bars kind of went down, stuck around this little, this 104.29 area if you were to give it a value. And then here, on this 11.25 candle, you can see we have a massive spike in volume. Okay? Now the thing with volume, and the way I use it, you don't need to look at specifically like how many shares went through. You just want to look at relative. Okay? So you can see it's pretty easy to spot. This volume bar has pretty much double the amount of volume as any other candle, aside from the ones right at open. Okay? In the first few minutes at open, because always right at the open, right at the close, it's going to be the most volume. But throughout the day, volume is around this area. And here we see a huge spike in volume, and when you see a huge spike in volume into a demand zone, there's a good chance price is going to reverse. And you can see price did exactly that. So a very simple trade you could do. Again, this is not financial advice, but very simple trade you could do is as soon as price comes into a demand zone with high volume, you can look to get in. Put your stop right into low, target, target high here, target supply, target liquidity, whatever it is, part of your strategy, right? Just going over entries for now. Very, very simple strategy, okay? Now, the one thing you want to make sure when you're doing this is you want to wait for price to kind of confirm it, right? And so you can see right here when price came down, we have that huge 5 minute candle. The next three candles were green. We immediately reversed. Okay, we immediately shot up, right up. Now that's really important, okay, because sometimes price will come down with a lot of volume, and then we'll have this huge volume spike, and then we'll just consolidate for a little bit, or we'll even drop a little bit lower. That is not a good sign. Okay, when you see that huge spike in volume, you want to see price immediately go the other way and shoot up. Okay, and that's exactly what happened right here. So even if you didn't get in right there, you could have waited for price to get in around here, put your stop at the low, target the highs, okay? Very simple setup. Now, I can show you again, it works again. I want you guys to look right here, okay? Same demand zone, all right? Now, obviously volume, where does market open? Market opens around here. Obviously there's a ton of volume. Volume throughout the day starts to fade. Starts to go down, 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 down. And here starts to pick up. Right here, the highest volume spike of the whole, I guess afternoon rush, whatever you want to call it, ended up being the low of day, right here. We ended up going right back up, okay? So you can see volume is a really good key indication. Now, I know you're thinking, Jordan, well, there's another volume spike right before it. Why not use that one? Again, this is where you need to be a little more patient, use some confirmation, right? So right here, this candle, price just immediately goes right down, okay? We don't see that immediate reversal. And when you don't see that, that's when you want to be a little more cautious and say, okay, I'm just going to hold off, I'm going to wait, and I'm going to wait and see what happens. and price comes back down, we get that volume spike. Again, we're inside demand. You always want to have a higher time frame context. Volume by itself is not a strategy you just want to go off of. Okay, you need other elements in your strategy. But just like this, you see that, immediately go higher. Okay, same thing here. This one's a little bit more closer to open, right? So this candle here. So obviously at the open, there's going to be a little bit more volume, a little harder to tell. But at the end of the day, we stop at these lows, we immediately reverse higher, and now we're pushing up, okay? The same exact thing is on MU, okay? I can show you this. So this is where you can go to a higher time frame. Now, if we go to like a daily, you can see we have this demand zone here. Now, this is not the best demand zone to use, okay? Because this demand zone has already been tested, right? So we came down in here, already reversed. It's not a fresh demand zone. But just for the example of showing you volume, I'm going to use this, okay? So prices are coming down into demand, right? This is a daily demand zone, 4 hour. You could draw it a million different ways, okay? Daily demand zone, price comes down. We're just going to assume it's fresh, and it's something that we're looking to trade, right? You don't always have to look at a 5 minute or 1 minute, okay? You want to look at all time frames, right? Me, when I'm trading throughout the day, I'm scrolling through all of these all the time, okay? I'm always looking at all these, looking at all the different volume. You want to make sure you look at everything, just so you have a really good picture. But if we look at a 15-minute chart, okay, we look over the past few days or so, past week, you can see that, there's certain times where there's a lot of volume, certain times where there's not a lot of volume, right? These few days, we didn't have a lot of volume, okay? And then here, Monday, 9:30 a.m., we have a huge volume spike, okay? You can see that ends up being the high of day. I think price may come up, yeah, we may go like a percent above it, but we end up being, around the high of day, and then price ends up reversing, right? And then you look at the next day, where do we see a huge volume spike? Into demand, huge volume spike. What's the next candle? Immediate reverse. Immediately go back, shoot outside. That's when you can look to get long, stop at the lows, target supply, target the highs, whatever it is you want to do with your strategy, okay? Very, very simple. And you can see even right here, same thing. I don't know where this was. This was a huge candle. It was right at the open, and we ended up reversing. But again, you can't just go solely off volume. You need to have another strategy in play. That's why I trade supply and demand. It works really well with volume when you combine the two. Okay, here there wasn't really a demand zone that this was going into, so I wouldn't have looked to play it. But down here, assuming this wasn't fresh, or assuming it was fresh, this would definitely be an area of interest that I would want to trade. Okay. Let's see. Look at the 1 minute. 1 minute, there isn't much of a tell. This is why I like to look through all the time frames. You can see right here we get a little bit of a spike, but that's why you typically want to zoom out as well, just so you have a good idea of everything. And if you can zoom out and look at the 15-minute volume compared to the past week, right? Whereas you're looking at a 5 minute or 1 minute, you want to really compare it to the past or to the current day. Okay, so that's why time frame is really important. It's all relative, but once you start to learn it, you'll get a hang of it. Then you can start looking at hourlies. You can get a lot better sense here, just like this hourly candle. Biggest hourly volume spike of the past month, 2 months almost. You can see it ended up being the low. Okay, and we ended up going right after. And you can find a few more as well. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are interested in learning my exact strategies that I use, that I've been trading full time for the past 2 years, this was kind of like a sneak peek of some of it. But if you want my more exact written out step-by-step strategies, okay, click the first link in the description down below. Okay, you can watch my free on-demand training and then book a call with my team to see if you'd be a good fit for my mentorship. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, comment other videos I should make. I'll see you guys in the next video.